After a certain point, if you keep adding tools to your agent, it starts to get dumb. It gives inconsistent answers, it starts picking the wrong tools, and no amount of prompt engineering really fixes it. Today I want to show you how you can improve that, and in some cases fix that with sub-agents. I'm going to show you when to use them, how to implement them with Mastra, and real challenges that come with implementing sub-agents as well. After that, we're going to gather it all together and put it into one Next.js application, and I'm going to show you how you can implement those sub-agents into your application. So let's get into it. Now let me show you the application that we're going to build. Here we have Skybridge Airways. This is a customer support agent that has multiple sub-agents. We have FAQ agent, booking agent, flight status agent, cancellation agent. So for example, I can ask it to, can you look up a booking for me? What it's going to do is to call the booking sub-agent here that is going to go ahead and call the tool get booking tool. So this is our sub-agent called this get booking tool and returned the response to our main agent. Now, so that our main agent, you can see here, responded with the result that our sub-agent provided here. And you can see here that it provided only relevant information for the user, even though our sub-agent returned much more information. And here as well, we have delegated prompt. So the prompt that our main agent used to call this sub-agent booking agent with, which is also cool. We can see how they communicate between each other. If we, for example, continue and ask about baggage policy, you can see here that we're calling this FAQ agent. This FAQ agent calls the search FAQ tool. We can also see here again our delegated prompt and the response from our main agent. The thing is that you might want to have like different formats for the response from the FAQ agent and your main agent. Maybe for your main agent you want to be more like friendly. For the FAQ agent you want it to be like more concise in some way. So you can like play around with it. And before I show you a single line of code, I want to make sure that the why is clear. Here's a naive approach. We have one agent, and this agent has like 6 tools. In reality, in production application, you would probably have like 12. Idea is that you throw everything just at one LLM, at one agent, and hope that it will figure out what to do with those tools. The thing is with tools is that they bloat the context window. So the more tools you have, your agent has to know about those tools to call them, right? And each one of those tools might be like 1,000 tokens each. The more tokens we're using from the start, the worse our agent performs. And the great analogy here is CEO at some company. We're expecting one CEO to do everything, to do support, to do product development, to do like QA stuff and things like that. So we're just expecting one agent, one CEO to do everything at our company. And in many cases, if we look at the tools, we can actually categorize them. So if we look at this example, this is a customer service example. Here if we look at the get booking tool and create booking, we can actually think about it as one category, as a booking category, right? The same goes for like refund policy and cancel booking. Right? This is like one category. And each of those categories can be actually represented as an employee. So that's what we're doing with sub-agents. We have one supervisor, a LLM that just gets the request from the user and decides which agent, which of our employees will get the job done, right? And so that's what we're doing with supervisor agent. So instead of having just one agent that handles everything, we have one agent that calls other agents. In this case, our CEO doesn't need to do any work. All they need to do is to just know, okay, I have 3 employees. I got the request for the FAQ. I will route this request to my FAQ agent, to my FAQ employee. And this FAQ employee has like tools to search FAQ, to connect to human, and things like that. Another thing that sub-agents can help you with is context overflow. What I mean by that is if you ever use like a coding agent, and most of them have like the sub-agent, research sub-agent that goes into your code base, it researches your code base and gives your main agent like a summary of what it found. And so that's what it's about. Instead of your main agent researching information in code base in your information source, we are outsourcing it to our sub-agent. And what it does, instead of our main agent receiving 60,000 tokens, it only receives a summary with 5,000 tokens. So we are much smarter about our token consumption, and the less token our agent uses, the smarter it is. All right, let me show you how it works. To define agents in Mastra, all we need to do is to define this new agent class that we're importing from Mastra core, define the name of the agent, a description of the agent, instructions. So this is a system prompt of our agent. And here inside of our agent, we have agents, which is sub-agents that the agent can access. Here we have for our agents, FAQ agent, booking agent, flight status agent, cancellation agent. If you look at, for example, FAQ agent, you will notice that it's just another agent. We're using the same agent class. We're defining the name, the description, the instructions. But here it's very important for your sub-agents to have a distinctive descriptions, because basically what our supervisor agent is doing is that it just calls a tool to call this agent. So it's very important for you to specify the agent role here, and when your supervisor agent has to call this agent. And inside of each our sub-agent here, if we look at cancellation agent, we have a few tools, cancel booking tool and get refund policy tool. And for flight status, similar thing, we have some tools for that. But our main supervisor agent only has those 4 agents that it knows about. And you might be asking how better it is, because our supervisor agent still has to call those tools to call the agents, right? But the thing is that our supervisor agent only has to provide the prompt to those agents. It doesn't need to know anything about the input schemas for specific tools and stuff like this. It just provides the prompt, similar to how you would type in ChatGPT. But our supervisor does this for each individual sub-agent. And it doesn't need to know anything about the tools of each individual agents here. And so that's pretty much it for the Mastra side of our sub-agent implementation. All we need to do is to define the supervisor agent, provide the instructions for our supervisor, define those sub-agents inside of the object here, an agent object. Very important to define the descriptions for each individual sub-agent, because that's how our supervisor agent will know about those agents. And after that, all we need to do is to define those agents inside of the Mastra instance here, our supervisor agents and all our sub-agents. And that's pretty much it on the Mastra side. And if we look at the Next.js route, so that's how we're calling our agent from the front end. You'll notice here that it's super easy. All we're doing is that we're receiving our messages in the body, from the body. We're calling the supervisor agent from Mastra. So we're importing this Mastra instance from new Mastra, from this file. We're importing it directly to our route, calling get agent by ID, specifying our supervisor agent. Then we're doing supervisor.stream, providing all the messages and receiving the stream from our agent. After that, we're creating create UI message stream response. This is a function from AI SDK. We're still using AI SDK. And here inside of the stream, we are providing this function to AI SDK stream. So we're transforming master stream to AI SDK stream so that we can use it on the front, so that on the front end we can use useChat. One of the big problems when it comes to sub-agents is how you manage context of those between those sub-agents. And with Mastra, they allow you and they provide you with a very cool functions here. Like for example, on interaction complete. This is, I believe, a function where we have agent ID, agent name, and different stuff here. The other thing is delegation, I believe, right here. And we have here like on delegation start. So that's when our main supervisor agent calls the agent, the sub-agent. And here we have context. And if we look what we have inside of the context, it's similar thing. So we can see here the messages, the iteration, the prompt. So the prompt that our sub-agent, not our sub-agent, our supervisor agent provided to our sub-agent. And based on that, we can do like different things with our context before each iteration. So here, for example, what we can do is to return like modified instructions. We can see the prompt here. And based on that prompt, based on the maybe string, we can check if the prompt has like some specific word in it. We can change the instructions, or we can maybe call another agent here to make sure that it provides enough information to the sub-agent or something like this. But it allows us to control each individual interaction between our supervisor agent and between our sub-agent, which is really cool. As an example, in their documentation, they have here somewhere an example, a very interesting example for task completion scoring. So you can create a scorer that is going to like evaluate the result of our AI, of our sub-agent. And then if it doesn't meet the criteria, we can give the feedback back to our sub-agent, and it's going to perform the task again with the given feedback, which is also so cool. So inside of this delegation complete, we can actually, if we look at the return, we can provide the feedback to our sub-agent. And here we have continue false. And if the continue false, then it's going to trigger the sub-agent once again with the given feedback as well. And one of the biggest problems with sub-agents is this context management between those sub-agents and evaluating the response of each individual sub-agent. And Mastra handles it extremely well, in my opinion. Now let's look at the frontend, and I'm going to show you how we are rendering everything. And looking at the frontend code, it's super easy. All we need to do is to define the useChat hook from AI SDK, a regular hook. Here we're rendering all our messages here in chat panel and orchestration panel as well. And here you will notice that we're defining customer service UI message. And if I look at this type, you will see here a little bit of mess. The thing is, with Mastra, there are some problems with types, so we have to manually define some of those types. I did it just by looking at the messages, so I just console logged messages because I was wondering how can I render those sub-agents. And all sub-agents are, if we look at the types, you will notice that it's just a tool call that we have. And so that's how Mastra calls those sub-agents. Those sub-agents are just tools. If you look at the input, you can see the prompt, you can see the output, you can see the tool result of the sub-agents, and that's what we've defined there. So I actually used AI, if I remember correctly, to define those types. So you can see here a lot of types, but it's just easier to work when you have types, at least somewhat type safety. So I just took that, did that, copy object, I put it into open code, and I asked Opus to just create types from it based on the UI message, documentation, and things like that. And it created this type. Based on that type, I now have all the necessary information that I need. But once we've defined all the types here, we can render them, and we can be sure that we have somewhat type safety here. For example, like label from our prompt, we have some other things. So we can now just simply render all the information based on the part type. So for example, here we have our tool agent part. So here, for example, we can be sure that inside of our input, we have our like prompt, our delegated prompt, and other things like output text, tools that the sub-agent called as well here. And so that's it. We are just rendering all the messages, all the parts, and all the sub-agents are just represented as tool calls. I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to leave all the links in the description below, and until the next time.